The Simpsons is currently in its 28th season, making it the longest-running sitcom in America. Front and center is Homer Simpson, perhaps one of the most recognizable TV characters of all time. Homer has remained a cultural icon throughout the years, and just due to how long he's existed, there's a lot to know about him. Hi, I'm Joe with Channel Frederator, and today we're going through 107 facts about Homer Simpson, some of which will be new even to the most die-hard Simpsons fan. Let's get smarted. Let's get started. Homer J. Simpson was born May 12, 1956. His birth made headlines. The headline said, "Unusually large, ugly baby born." If he aged in real time, that would currently make Homer 61 years old. His cartoon age, however, is a trickier question, as it's been updated a few times throughout the show. Originally, Homer was 36, and after a few changes, as of season 10, he's been stated to be 39 years old. Homer is 6 feet tall, and his weight ranges from 239 to 315 pounds.
Woohoo! Look at that blubber fly!
In the episode Dough in the Wind, when Homer seeks to find out what his middle initial J stands for, it turns out it just stands for J, making his full name Homer J. Simpson.
It's so beautiful.
Homer was born and raised on a farm just outside the city of Springfield, where he currently resides at 742 Evergreen Terrace. He has two siblings, Abby Simpson and Herb Powell. Homer's first words were,
"Well, good night, son."
in a short on the Tracy Ullman Show. He had a noticeably different voice in these early shorts. Voice actor Dan Castellaneta, who remains the voice of Homer to this day, started out impersonating actor Walter Matthau, but couldn't keep up the voice for the 10 hours a day in the studio the job required of him. The voice of Homer was eventually based on an old Mr. Magoo record Dan Castellaneta had as a child.
Oh, this realism. I feel he might reach out and grab me.
Can you hear the resemblance?
Homer has a little Mr. Magoo in him.
Homer's voice was originally deeper, but had to change to a slightly higher pitch due to emotional changes. Homer is the only character to have dialogue in every episode of the show, with over 200,000 words spoken. Dough is based on the old Laurel and Hardy movies by an actor named James Finlayson, who would use a varied version of dough instead of damn. Dough is now in the Merriam-Webster dictionary thanks to the show, defined as used to express sudden recognition of a foolish blunder or an ironic turn of events. On the show, Homer is in the dictionary as well, defined as an American bonehead. He is also in the dictionary as pull a Homer, which means to succeed despite idiocy. I wonder if there are any other high-profile people that have pulled a Homer in their lives. One strategy the writers use to make Homer's bad behavior acceptable, and not outright wrong, is to make sure that his anger is impulsive. That way, even when he's doing something terrible like strangling his son, it's due to an impulse that could change at any moment, and not some sort of sadistic tendency. The first time Homer said,
Chocolate,
was over the chocolate portion of Neapolitan ice cream. Later on, he made this same exclamation in the bedroom with Marge. Since then, it's been used for both kinds of situations.
Something.
Homer's namesake is Simpson creator Matt Groening's dad, Homer Groening, who was a documentary filmmaker, World War II pilot, and writer. Matt Groening also has a son legally named Homer, but he goes by Will. Homer was not originally intended to be the focus of the show. Bart was the main focus, but the attention shifted to Homer because it was a wider range of possible storylines. As soon as the show made the switch from being a short on the Tracy Ullman Show, the focus switched to Homer. According to Al Jean, the original premise of the series' very first episode was that Homer was worried Marge would get him in trouble at work by getting too drunk at a party. Not the Homer we know. Originally, the show's characters were purposefully grounded by real fears. Homer's primary motivations were not wanting to lose his job and failing to connect to Lisa. Only in later years did the writers start to write the show with broader comedic strokes. For example, sending the Simpsons to space. The Vatican once claimed Homer was Catholic, and while he has been in certain episodes, the show has revealed this to be untrue. Producer Al Jean was particularly amused, having not gone to church in 20 years at the time of the claim. Homer graduated from the Springfield Heights Institute of Technology, or SHIT. Homer works in Sector 7G, named after the production codes of the very first episodes. Some of Homer's side jobs include astronaut, alcohol bootlegger, bodyguard, boxer, food critic, sugar salesman, and teacher.
Imitation Krusty, baby proofer, trucker, hippie, plow driver.
He's had 187 side jobs in all. Throughout the series, Homer's income has placed his family in the economic middle class. His income has been estimated to be $37,000 $1,416, adjusted for inflation, which is less than the median income in America. However, Homer's many side jobs have placed him briefly in a wide variety of income brackets, with jobs ranging from $10,000 a year to hundreds of thousands. In the show, Homer has been revealed to drive a 1986 Plymouth Junkerola, a made-up car model. Fans had previously thought it to be a variant on a 1973 Plymouth automobile. Pulling a Homer has been stated to be the result of the Simpsons gene, which only affects males in the family, forcing them into a life of sloth, ignorance, and underemployment. Homer's IQ may only be 55, but he's actually a genius. There have been many causes that have been referred to explaining why Homer is dumb, from the Simpsons gene, to radioactive side effects, to alcohol. But in one episode, it is shown that he actually has a crayon lodged in his brain, suppressing his intelligence. In case you're wondering, it's a blue crayon. Homer's smarts are revealed in the game of chess, at which he turns out to be a master player due to some dark family trauma. In the episode The Cat in the Hat, he even gets advice from real-life chess master Magnus Carlsen. Homer once attempted to prove Fermat's theorem, which has been awarded world's most difficult math problem by the Guinness Book of World Records. While his answer looked and may have even appeared to be right, mathematicians have since determined Homer to be off by quite a bit. Homer did get a little closer to the mathematical breakthrough when he predicted the mass of the Higgs boson particle to be not too far off from its actual mass in the episode The Wizard of Evergreen Terrace. This was 14 years before CERN accurately determined the particle's mass. Did you know that Homer sings? He appears on 5 albums, singing both covers and original songs from the show. Forget Nirvana and Pearl Jam, Homer also performed in an early grunge band called Sadgasm. He's also gone on to tour with real-life bands Smashing Pumpkins, Sonic Youth, and Cypress Hill in the episode Homer Palooza. The one time Homer was voiced by someone other than Dan Castellaneta was in the episode Homer's Barbershop Quartet, when a member of the real-life vocal group, the Dapper Dans, provided Homer's singing voice. Homer's quartet, the B Sharps, won a Grammy in the show, not in real life. Because of the classic episode Homer at Bat, which featured a number of baseball stars, Homer is scheduled to be inducted into the actual Baseball Hall of Fame this year. In the Arabic version of the show, Homer is named Omar Shamshoon. The Simpsons has also been dubbed in French. In fact, it's been dubbed into both proper French, you know, from France, as well as Quebecois from Quebec. Oh ho ho! Trying to spot the difference? Look no further than Homer's favorite food. In France, Homer loves les donuts, while in Quebec, he describes them as les bains. In the Spanish version of The Simpsons, instead of his catchphrase "do," Homer says something that sounds like a simple ouch. Homer's a true world traveler and has visited every single continent, including Antarctica. In 2003, Homer was declared by the city of Winnipeg in Manitoba, Canada, to be an honorary Winnipegger. In 2000, Homer and the rest of his family were awarded a collective star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. In 2004, Homer topped a poll in the UK of fictional characters those surveyed by Radio Times wanted to see become the President of the United States. Very funny, England. A year before that, Homer topped a poll of the all-around greatest American, beating actually notable figures like Lincoln and Martin Luther King Jr. by a large majority of votes. Back in America, Homer was ranked in a 2010 issue of Entertainment Weekly as the #1 greatest character created for TV or film in the past 20 years. A Spanish sweet shop owner once found a counterfeit euro with the likeness of Homer Simpson rather than a historical figure. Unlike most counterfeit money, this fake €1 coin ended up being worth more than its face value. The sweet shop owner was offered €20 for it. For the Simpsons' 20th anniversary, the US Postal Service printed 1 billion Simpson stamps, one of which featured the face of Homer Simpson. Unlike the counterfeit coin with his countenance, these were only worth a standard 44 cents. There's a real neurological phenomenon called the Homer Simpson effect. It refers to the process of forgetting old information in the brain to make room for incoming new information. 59% of parents surveyed in the UK claimed Homer Simpson was a negative dietary influence on their children. Reminder, definitely don't do most of the things cartoon characters do. Homer once gave a monologue on The Tonight Show with Jay Leno to promote the Simpsons movie. He then crossed over into the real world once again on Jimmy Kimmel Live in order to give Kimmel a tour of Springfield. To help promote the Simpsons movie, a likeness of Homer carrying a large donut was painted next to the famed Cern Abbas chalk giant, a large depiction of a giant created in the 17th century. Homer was made with a biodegradable paint meant to dissolve as soon as it rained. Homer did the Ice Bucket Challenge like seemingly everybody else in 2014, and even challenged current President Trump before he was the headline-making celebrity he is today. In a visit to the Sydney Opera House to promote an appearance by Simpsons creator Matt Groening, Homer met up with an animated likeness of the Sydney seal. This is a real seal who sits on the steps of the Opera House sometimes, and is beloved by locals. Thieves in New York in 2008 once stole used cooking oil oil to resell as biofuel. This exact scheme was attempted by Homer in the 1998 episode Lard of the Dance, meaning there's a chance Homer's behavior inspired actual criminal activity. In 2014, a man in New Zealand got the Guinness World Record for most tattoos of the same cartoon character, with 41 different Homer Simpson faces tattooed on his arm. Homer was once referred to in a UK court case. A man who shot himself with a taser compared himself and specifically his intelligence to Homer's. The book, The Simpsons Uncensored Family Album, reveals Homer to be distantly related to his boss, Mr. Burns, who is Grandpa's fourth cousin by marriage. Homer has a number of superhero alter egos. He turns into a Hulk-like monster, disguises himself as the pie-throwing Pie Man, and portrays a superhero named Everyman in a movie created by Comic Book Guy. In Homer to the Max, Homer legally changes his name to Max Power when one of the main characters in the show, Police Cops, shares the same name as Homer. Another character he shares a name with in real life is Donald Sutherland's leading role in the 1975 film Day of the Locust, named Homer Simpson. Sutherland would later guest star in the 1996 episode Lisa the Iconoclast. Another of Homer's brief aliases was Colonel Homer, country music manager. He abandoned the name and role after the country music star he was managing attempted to interfere with his marriage to Marge. Homer's graffiti tag, inspired by his son's tag of El Barto, is El Homo, which is where the episode that this appears in gets its title. Homer once owned a family business called Mr. Plow, plowing snow as its name would suggest. It was very much a family business, with the extended Simpsons family co-starring in a commercial. Homer's a certified minister through the Universal Life Church. If only it were possible to be married by a cartoon character. Homer was once in a secret society called the Stonecutters. He was kicked out when they reformed as the Ancient Mystic Society of No Homers, meant very clearly to keep him out of it. At the end of the episode Simprovised, Homer went live, answering fans' pre-screened questions. Homer proved that the broadcast was indeed live by referencing a baseball brawl that had just occurred for West Coast audiences.
The Texas Rangers beat the Toronto Blue Jays today by a technical knockout.
And commenting on Drake's Saturday Night Live appearance for East Coasters.
On Saturday Night Live, last night, Drake was terrible.
In this live question and answer session, Homer revealed that he prefers deep dish Chicago pizza to thin crust New York style pizza. He also endorsed Sanders for president, but not the one that you're thinking. Homer mentioned that he loves his chicken and insisted that he be called Colonel. Homer has voted in the last two presidential elections. He voted for Mitt Romney in 2012, although he attempted to vote for Obama. In the 2016 election, he voted for Hillary Clinton. Homer was the inspiration for Ralph Wiggum, who was first intended to be a mini Homer of sorts. Only in Season 4 was he determined to be the son of Chief Wiggum. Homer's PIN number is 7431. Fortunately, he's never revealed his credit card number, which would surely deplete his bank account as soon as the episode went to air. His social security number is 568470008. I'm surprised no one's stolen his identity yet, in the show or otherwise. Homer owns the Denver Broncos football team, receiving the team from the evil Hank Scorpio as a gift. Homer was not stoked, wanting the Dallas Cowboys instead. In Trilogy of Error, Homer's thumb is cut off before being reattached as part of Lisa's science project, which is possible as long as you're a cartoon character. Homer has technically died on two different occasions in the series. In Homer's triple bypass, he was dead at one point from a heart attack, but came back to life after Mr. Burns mentions a ham. Then, in $1 Million Maybe, Homer's spirit nearly left his body after stressing about newfound riches, but he managed to return to his momentary corpse. Of course, in the annual Treehouse of Horror Halloween episodes, Homer has died numerous times, but these are not part of the show's canon. Homer has visited both hell and heaven. In a Treehouse of Horror episode, Homer is subjected to a classic ironic punishment of being fed countless donuts after being sent to hell by an uncharacteristically devilish Ned Flanders. Then, in Thank God It's Doomsday, Homer's sent to heaven as part of the rapture, while his family suffers on Earth, which of course is undone by the episode's end. Homer first asked out Marge to prom by pretending to be in a French class, asking Marge to tutor him. While she was initially angry, it worked out in the end, as we can all see today. In a future projection episode, Marge leaves Homer for Krusty, but comes back for Homer by the end of the episode. This isn't the only depiction of Marge and Homer getting a divorce, which also happens in Every Man's Dream. But as the title's double entendre suggests, the divorce and the rest of the episode's events turn out to be a dream. Well, it turns out they were divorced a little longer. It's revealed in Wedding for Disaster that Homer and Marge were divorced seasons 8 through 20, before being officially remarried in this episode. In Homer Goes to College, Homer sings a song about how smart he is, first spelling the word SMRT.
I am too smart. SMRT. I mean S-M-A-R-T.
Castellaneta actually spelled the word this way on accident, but it was funny enough and very in character, so they left it in the show. Homer appeared in the cartoon within a cartoon, Itchy and Scratchy, as the voice of Poochie the dog, whose addition to the show turned out to be a huge failure. Homer and Marge's song seems to be Close to You by the Carpenters. The song plays both in a sad video Marge makes for Homer in the Simpsons movie about her declining love for him, and in a flashback to the time Homer first met Marge. In Maggie Makes 3, Homer is revealed to own a board full of photos of their youngest daughter Maggie, with the words, "Do it for her," encouraging him to continue to work at the nuclear power plant. His dream job was always to be a pin monkey at the Bowl-O-Rama, but he had to quit so he could support his new baby at the time, Maggie. And those pictures? Well, they're his reminder. Through a spin-the-bottle mishap, Milhouse's first kiss is none other than Homer. Marge is Homer's first kiss. Homer and Marge went to summer camp together as children, but Marge turned her hair brown from a hair straightening accident. In season 9, Homer describes a beer to Quickie Mart owner Apu called Skittlebrow, and is told that he must have just dreamed up this non-existent beer. However, one season later, Homer's imagined candy-infused beer is shown to exist at the 33-cent market next door. Homer has invented his own cocktail, the Flaming Homer, which becomes the Flaming Mo. He starts by mixing little bits from all kinds of liquor bottles, adds a little bit of cough syrup, and accidentally lights it on fire with a little bit of cigarette ash. The drink becomes a big hit at Moe's Tavern. Homer once started his own religion. The reason? To not go to church on Sundays. While Homer has a dream during which God approves of his decision, his house burning down leads him to disband his church-avoiding faith. Homer's high school yearbook quote is, "I can't believe I ate the whole thing." His yearbook page also reveals he played no sports and took part in no activities in high school. Homer's committed a lot of crimes, 59 in all by one estimate, and most of them more than once. It's amazing how much you can get away with in Springfield. Homer was once committed to a mental institution, simply for wearing a pink shirt. Those were very different times. While at one point Homer claims to be fearless in his waking life, it's quickly revealed that his biggest fear is something totally bizarre: sock puppets. A promo for both Home Improvement and The Simpsons compares Tim Allen's character, Tim Taylor, to Homer. Home Improvement appears in The Simpsons at 1.2, depicting Tim killing neighbor Wilson with a superpowered lawnmower. Maybe they're not so similar. At least Homer doesn't kill. Of all the foods, both normal and weird, Homer likes, one of them is goo. Homer proclaims his love for free goo twice in the series, so apparently this is something Homer's desired on multiple occasions. The Simpsons has famously predicted many historical moments. In Oh Brother, Where Art Thou, Homer designs a car that in many ways is too outlandish to ever exist. However, his large cup holders and noise-canceling interiors have actually since been implemented into some car models. Homer's car was actually prophetic in another way. A group of engineers built a replica of the car, and it placed 5th out of 150 in the Le Mans endurance race in 2013. Another of Homer's inventions that have become a reality? Hamburger Earmuffs. He came up with the idea in The Wizard of Evergreen Terrace. They've since been made popularized by Sci-Fi Channel star Josh Gates. In Dude, Where's My Ranch, Homer writes a less than stellar Christmas carol. However, the show's creators didn't realize that they had a hit on their hands.
Christmas in December, wow, wow, wow.
Usher's song OMG, released 7 years later, uses essentially the same melody as Homer's Christmas Carol.
Honey got some boobies like wow, oh wow.
When Homer created a website as Mr. X with gossip on the citizens of Springfield in the episode The Computer Wore Menace Shoes, Fox replicated the actual site. Unfortunately, visiting Mr. X's webpage.com no longer brings you to Homer's webpage. As we mentioned in 107 Facts About The Simpsons, Krusty the Clown was originally intended to be Homer's secret identity. However, in the episode Homie the Clown, confusing things even more, Homer dresses up like Krusty and assaults a restaurant mascot in the process. Maybe it's best we got the pessimistic version of Krusty and not Homer's violent take. Homer has appeared on or as a number of products throughout the years, including being featured on his own breakfast cereal called Homer's Cinnamon Donuts, created by Kellogg's. One fan theory argues that Homer's been in a coma since the 1993 episode So It's Come to This, explaining why his family never ages. Producer Al Jean has essentially debunked the theory, but it's a fascinating read that casts the show in a new light. Outside of TV, Homer's appeared in a number of video games and comic books. His first video game appearance was in the Simpsons arcade game, and first comic appearance in a one-off titled Simpsons Comics and Stories. For as long as The Simpsons has been a cultural force, it's been referenced in various other films, TV shows, and other media. For example, Homer has appeared a number of times animated into the Comedy Central series Drawn Together. As we mentioned in 107 Facts About The Simpsons, Homer's email address is revealed in The Dad Who Knew Too Little to be chunkylover53@aol.com, which was also registered by producer Matt Selman in advance of the episode airing. But if you get an email from it, beware. It was since hacked and used to send send malware. In Homer the Heretic, Homer creates an ungodly breakfast he calls moon waffles. Want to try them for yourself? It's not advised, but a recent video in the YouTube series Binging with Babish, which provides instructions for making famous foods from TV and films, explains how. In Caper Chase, Homer gets into a parody of the briefly ubiquitous augmented reality game Pokemon Go. However, this was something of a political statement, as Homer playing the game in church mimics a Russian YouTuber who was sentenced to prison for the very same thing. In response to the episode, Russia refused to air it and raised the age requirement for viewers. Want to eat like Homer Simpson? His signature Duff beer is available in South America and also at Moe's Tavern in Universal Studios Hollywood and Orlando. You can get the classic Homer Simpson's donut at Lard Lad Donut in Universal Studios Springfield, and Homer's wardrobe should be easy to replicate if you're going for the full Homer experience. Just don't shove a blue crayon up your nose. That's not recommended. Once again, I'm Joe, and thanks for watching 107 Facts About Homer Simpson. What's your favorite thing about him? Which cartoon character should we cover next? Comment below and let us know. And don't forget to click that bell icon to become part of the notification squad. We have new videos dropping every day, so make sure to subscribe because remember, Frederator loves you.